Ladies and gents,
Senores and señoras.
you guys are never going to believe it. Josefina does save the day.
In like a tangible way.
In like a real
Kind of
delicious,
stakes way.
like, it might have been so over party.
And it's in it's like a Hail Mary saves the day though.
Yeah, it's really delicious.
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to like this one.
Yeah, usually two of the more slow books, turns out, for Josefina are two of the more interesting books.
I know. I was kind of I was a little worried.
We didn't hit our sophomore slump.
No, we're on a roller coaster and we're on the way up right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
baby.
She's still a little bit manic, a little less.
She's still a little manic. She's riding a high.
She's gotten some cojones in the last two books.
And she thinks that love is in the air.
Oh, guys, the ending of this book is like, for all the Tía Dolores Papa shippers, which is us.
Who's out there, guys? Send us a comment, please.
It's they're fucking at this point.
I think they're at least like I think they've at least had an inappropriate kiss that they both feel a little embarrassed about.
I think a little bit more than that.
Oh, with the
An
tongue,
ODPHJ.
a little over the pant,
Yeah.
a little
Rubbing.
heavy petting,
I think some heavy petting
a
is
little
going
hand
on.
up the skirt, and then I feel like she was like, "We
No.
can't, your boy,
Señor.
my sister,"
Mi hermana.
and then he's like, "She's dead."
Guys, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Honestly, I feel like we just jump right in. So much happens.
Yeah, we got to get through it.
It's pretty delicious.
We got to go to a Shark Week bar night, too.
Yeah, we gotta go eat a little gelatinous shark in a gelatinous shot.
Yum, yum, yum.
Delicious. Chapter 1, the bird-shaped flute. Josefina and her family have made their way to Abuelito's home near Santa Fe. Yeehaw! That's because, you guys, the time has come. There is great anticipation and excitement because the Americanos are coming to make their way to the town, rather.
To make the town a trade hub.
They're bringing their wagon train.
Oh, yeah. Wares are coming.
Guys, it's going to be Trade City. Everybody who's anybody is going to be there.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's time to make their home Sheep City with all the blankets they've brought. So Josefina is sitting outside near her grandfather's home, and she's tooting on a little clay bird.
She's like,
"Do-do-do-do-do-do." And then she thinks like, oh my gosh, what is that? I hear something. She thinks she hears a bird kind of calling back.
Yeah.
But gasp, it's a man.
when she goes like, hello, bird.
She's like, dee-dee-dee, hi. And then jump scare.
It's a man
A
in
man.
a tree.
Yikes. And he's like, well, hello. An American boy, by the way.
Yeah.
And she knows he's American because she looks at his funky little shoes and their cowboy type boots that they don't have yet.
And his white ass skin.
And he's so white and he's so blonde and he's so blue eyed and he's so sunburned.
He's like Sydney Sweeney in American Eagle.
Uh-oh. He's exactly who they're talking about. Also, he speaks Spanish, but Josefina does know he speaks Spanish with a little bit of a silly accent.
Un accento muy cómico.
Yeah, she likes it, though. She's like, damn, but I can understand him, so
It's like me, guys.
acceptable. And he introduces himself. Oh, also, he's a violin.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys. When he jumps down, he has a violin.
They just scary in a tree.
Yeah. He's kind of like, what if a little girl comes along? I gotta have something
I
to
gotta
show
have
her
some
I'm
music.
safe.
What if a little girl who's obsessed with music comes along?
Yeah, because he he does a little fiddling around, and she's like, you've charmed me. Safe.
You're coming home with me.
Josefina would fall prey to a Pied Piper in a
Oh,
heartbeat.
100%.
Bro, if a Pied Piper came along, it'd be fucking over for Josefina. She'd be Pied Pipered right away. A boy with a flute and a charming little jig, it'd be over for a
Bad
girl.
people don't play music.
Okay, low-key the moral of this story, but like really wrong. I think it was really too simple a lesson. There was no nuance to that lesson. Anyway, he introduced himself. His name's Patrick O'Toole from Missouri.
Missouri.
And he's a scout for the American train of wagons, and he's been sent ahead to look for somebody. That somebody is Josefina's abuelito. And he's like, do you know this man? And she's like, boy, do I. And she's like, well, why don't you come on down to the house and I'll, like, show you. Also, she like doesn't speak for a while because she's kind of scared. But then he introduces himself and she introduces herself.
She finally gets the courage when he's like friendly.
Yeah, and she's like, okay, I guess this guy couldn't be
He's like a little cute.
so bad. He's very sweet. He's very
Yeah.
charming. So she brings him down and she's like, Abuelito, this is Patrick O'Toole from, and then it says like, she's like, Missouri.
Missouri.
That she says it very intentionally because it's an American word.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very cute.
Senor O'Toole.
Yeah. And he's like, hello. And he tries to get right down to business. He's like, sir, I've heard that you might have some. And Abuelito's like, ha, enough of that for now. Come in and sit and enjoy a meal. And Patrick is not he's like, okay, but I have like stuff to do. And Josefina like
nudges him and
she's like, enough. Ixnay on the talking say.
Be pleasantries.
And he's like, got it, wink. And he's like, so I
they're
shall.
in sync all of a sudden.
Yeah, they're locked in.
Yeah.
They're in cahoots.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yes, of course we could talk business after a meal. And Abuelito's like,
he's like, that's
yes!
exactly what I wanted you to say.
Oh my God, smart young American. Sit down at my table. Meet my entire family.
And my beautiful granddaughters.
And look at all these beautiful women. And it says that like Francisca's like eyeing him through her beautiful dark eyelashes.
They're all like, all the girls are like, there's a very funny art, like it comes up in like a minute or two, where all the girls were like,
oh, where'd you meet this boy?
It's the first boy they've seen.
Yeah, they're like, and suddenly Francisca's like, I've never seen a squash in my life.
Yeah, she's like, squash him.
She's like, squash who?
The river destroyed
I'd
them.
like to squash him.
I'd like him to squash
I'd like him to squash me. So they're sitting down, they're having a delicious little meal, and the sisters are all like, hee. Also, he apologizes for his Spanish, but like basically he's speaking fine. But he can't read or write it, is what he says. He can speak it well enough, except he falters a little when Francisca is pouring him some water. And Josefina's like, this is not the first time I've seen a boy be charmed by her beautiful wiles.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful and charming.
She's very pretty.
He'd be a fool not to get all giggly about her.
Does he know how to say que linda?
I bet he does. I bet he's going to say it to her tonight. I take a pull from a cigarette. It's delicious, just like I remember it. So they seem to be like eyeing each other. So eventually Patrick is like, I think I've done enough pleasantry yapping. You guys, we really need some mules, okay? We're running short on mules.
And they're like, well, what a coincidence, because we've got fucking mules to spare.
Although, there's like a paragraph where they're like having an eye conversation, Papa and Abuelito, where it's kind of like, are we going to trust this white guy? Maybe.
Yeah.
Can we?
We forgot to mention that Abuelito used to trade with Señor O'Toole.
Yes. Oh, yes. My apologies.
Yeah.
We did skip over that. So yes, he knew a man before.
Yeah. The Senior O'Toole. Now we're with
Senior O'Toole. But now it's the young guy.
El Junior O'Toole.
Which they do like briefly call into question, like maybe he's lying about his identity.
Which is crazy.
Which I think is a little funny because I'm like, I feel like if he was there to steal your shit, he wouldn't have even needed to pretend to be. He could have just still said he was a scout.
Yeah, just any scout.
Having legacy lore as a part of your scam
is
back
pretty
then,
advanced.
I don't think we were doing all that yet. We weren't yet like Nigerian princes needing money wired to them overseas.
But yeah, they are hesitant to trade with him.
They're hesitant, but Papa is a generous of heart man who's been softened by the presence of a beautiful woman in his life. The book doesn't tell you that, but I do.
But we do.
But we understand.
But we're here to tell you what's really happening.
And his heart has been opened to trust. So he's like, I might know a guy, the guy is me, who has 20 or so mules that mayhaps could be purchased by the right buyer. And Patrick's like, what news? Excellent.
Que noticias.
Perfect. And he's like, cool. And Papa's like, well, come outside. I'll show you the mules. So they go outside and they look at the mules. And then Josefina recounts to her family how she found him in like a little bit of obnoxious detail for it being within the same chapter. Like it's almost a full page of her being like, and I was blowing on the little clay whistle you gave me, Tía Dolores. And then he popped out of the tree and I thought he was a bird. And then he told me who he was. And then I brought him down here.
And he played me a little song.
He played me a little song on
and
a violin.
Everyone's like excited, but Abuelita, introduction alert. Yep.
Kind of subtly. She's just kind of thrown in.
She's a harsh mistress, too.
Oh. This woman wouldn't trust anybody farther than she could throw him,
Yeah,
and she can't throw
all
very
the cheer
far.
is an abuelito.
Absolutely.
But abuelita's like, maybe we trust him, maybe we don't.
She's like, I don't like it. He's got a stink about him.
And then Tía Dolores is like, but he plays music, and music makes you lose control.
Well, music makes you lose control. Yeah, Josefina's like, well, I knew I could trust him because his music sounded so friendly. And Tía Dolores is like, yes, music can make people feel very friendly indeed, can't it?
Friendly.
Not me and your father. Your father hates music. I wonder if that will change. Anyway, sometimes music speaks louder than words. I feel like they're fucking through music, okay? I feel like he'll be like, play me a song.
Yeah.
She'll play a song, and then he'll kind of just like
Behind
slide
her.
his fingers over like hers while he like turns like a page on a music sheet and like lean a little too into her business.
Yeah, that's so what's happening.
And then she's like, she's like breathless. Anyway, chapter 2. Heart's Desire.
When I read this chapter title, I was like, oh,
it's over. They're gonna kiss.
I was like, what?
They're kissing.
And it's not what you think.
It's very childlike. So the family gathers the next day in front of the palace of the governors in Santa Fe to await the arrival of the wagon train to pull into town. Abuelita has stayed home though because she dislikes crowds and she hates people.
Yep, relatable for an old woman.
Yeah, so we understand why we left her behind. And oh my gosh, there are so many people there. The wagon pulls into town. Josefina's like, I'm going to remember this day forever. There's so many different stands of different artisans and farmers and traders, and there's soldiers, and there's Pueblo people there.
It's a farmer's market.
Yeah, it's every type of person that we could possibly be encountering. Settlers, ranchers, soldiers, traders, everybody's there. Old, young, women, children, running about, men, trading, doing deals. There's so many things to look at. And Papa and Abuelito are going to go do some snooping around with Patrick to see if they can find somebody to buy the mules that he was talking about. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll come take you to that. But before Papa goes off, he has a little twinkle in his eye. And the girls are like, what's going on? And
Caroline's like, what's going on?
Okay, and Papa and Tía Dolores like, you tell them. No, you tell them. No, you tell them.
And I'm like, what's going
on?
on?
Why were you guys having a private conversation that we didn't read about on a page? That's suspicious old pillow talk. And it turns out that in private, rude.
Let us in the room.
Papa and Dolores have agreed that each of the girls may take a blanket that they made and trade or sell it for whatever they want. Whatever their heart desires.
Which is nice.
They're buttering them up because they're about to be like, our hearts desire something.
Like, aren't you happy we let you have your heart's desire?
Wouldn't it be cruel if you didn't allow us to have our heart's desires?
It's like kind of like a credit for both of them. Like, they're so cool and they work together so well.
Yeah.
Why don't they just fuck already?
Look at all this goodwill we're racking up. It would be a shame if our daughters Papa's daughters denied us something later. The girls, though, are thrilled. They can be bought off. They can be influenced. This is how you make friends and influence people.
That is, truly.
You let them trade their little things away.
I do think it is a fair trade, though, that, like, they'd spent all that work making stuff, and they can get one special thing for themselves with their hard work. I did think that was a nice move on their part.
It's very cute. Oh, well, and that their blanket is actually something valuable.
Yeah.
So...
Well, just show it like in a like annoying adult way. It shows like, see, your hard work does pay off. Like when you work hard and do things, you get what you want.
There's a little treat waiting for you.
There's rewards involved, you know.
So it's cute. The girls run off. Francisco's like, well, we gotta go investigate some wares. I would like to point out that in this book and the last book, Anna devastatingly absent.
She's raising a family.
She's really like. It's like mentioned in passing that like Tía Dolores is going to trade Anna's blanket for a pair of shoes for her
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, for her kids.
Well, I guess like Francesca and Clara weren't in the last one either.
That's true. They were pretty absent for that one as well. Other than when they were church painting.
Oh, yeah.
But even then, like, barely.
Just a scene, yeah.
Anyway, so they're looking around. There's mirrors. There's toys. There's dresses. There's utensils. And Clara is like, we have to be practical.
I would slap her.
Oh my God. Francisca's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to buy a beautiful mirror to look at myself
in.
And it's very funny. And then they're wandering around, and then what is this to catch Josefina's little eye? But the most adorable wooden farm playset that's like, it has a barn, it's got like a wagon, and it's got the cutest, funny looking little pig. And she fixates on pig. She's
Yeah.
like,
I
"Ugh,
need that pig.
what fun would I have playing with this little pig on this little farm set? I'd make it go oink, oink, and wander all around." She's like, delicious. And Clara comes in and is like, "Oh, your dream? Stinky, stinky,
I know Clara's
stupid."
insane here.
She
Clara's
is-
kind of insane this whole book.
I'm like, wow, insane for a girl who, like, not 6 months ago was like, I have to keep this doll forever from my sister. She can't have it. Stinky. Also, I mean, I guess I can't really speak because I do still, to some level, collect little toys and trinkets as an adult, but I don't really play with them anymore. They're collector things and tchotchke decorations. But I think I was still very like doll and like Littlest Pet Shop pilled until I went to like maybe middle school.
I think I was into
loved-
Barbies until I was like 11.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like she's still prime playset age.
Well, it's just one of those annoying things when like it's a type of personality that Clara has where it's like not only must I do the right thing, but I must control others to do what I perceive to be the right thing too. Where it's kind of like it doesn't matter what Josefina gets if Clara can get her thing. But Clara needs to micromanage the situation because she's type A.
Yeah, she's like, if you get the wrong thing, you're dooming our family. Low key.
And the only way I will like maybe understand and give a little credit is like they don't get to buy stuff for themselves that often. And Clara might be thinking like she's not going to want to play with it in a year or two.
Sure.
And I kind of get that, but like who cares? She
I'm
can
like,
make another blanket
gonna
and sell
say,
it in a year or two.
Seems like blanket business is here
Booming,
to stay.
yeah.
So, but no, I don't disagree with you. So Josefina kind of has like a 3-sentence crash out, but then Papa like takes her braid and like tucks it behind her ear and bends down and is like, by the way, you should just get whatever you want.
I did like that. I thought
Don't-
that was very sweet.
He's like, don't let anybody talk you out of your heart's desire.
I know I won't. And then he looks across the plaza.
Wistfully at Tía Dolores.
Yeah, we made that okay.
That's not true, you guys. I'm sorry. But it might as well be. I was like,
It
oh.
might as well be by the end of this
I'm
book.
like, these are such overt lessons that they're teaching Josefina that I feel like if they don't come back in the last book, again, what the fuck have we been doing?
We're
here?
gonna storm Santa Fe.
I'm going to send Valerie triple letter and be
Yeah.
like, what was this about? And then I'm gonna like murderer, like serial killer letter style, cut out all the sentences from the book and paste them on a piece of printer paper and frame it and send it to her.
And you guys can help us do that once we get there.
You guys can tell me which lines are the best to
Yeah.
threaten somebody with. Anyway, so Josefina's like, okay, interesting. I'm still gonna decide though. He's like, we can come back tomorrow and you can decide if the farm is what your heart desires. And she's like, okay, thank you, Papa. Great. And good news, by the way, traders have been found to buy all 20 mules, and they're going to buy the mules in silver. So they're not even going to trade where Papa would have to do more finagling and be like, okay, well, now I'm going to trade for this
Yeah,
thing.
they don't have
and
to do a
then-
whole trade mastery.
Yeah, he's just going to get coin, and the coin will make it even easier to buy more sheep. Thank God. And Patrick's like, okay, the buyers are American. They're going to speak English, so I'll do the trade for you. I'll come get the mules tonight. I will bring an advance of silver this evening. And then we'll do a little exchange and then I'll take the rest and then I'll bring them back. Blah, blah. And Papa's like, okay, great. I trust you. So, deal. So we'll meet up later for dinner. And oh, by the way, Patrick, this calls for celebration. So you better bring that fucking violin with you.
Yeah. They're
Bring
like,
it.
you're coming over to dance and sing.
You're coming
Little
over.
monkey boy.
Hey, yeah, you're coming home with us. So chapter 3, A Charm from the Sky. That afternoon, Patrick does come to collect the mules. He lets Josefina borrow his telescope while he's kind of setting some things up, and she peers about on the surrounding land. Everything is so clear. She can see for miles and miles. She can see, oh, what's that? A little church. The Church of San Miguel.
Yeah, it's pretty church.
And she's like, wow, how beautiful. And he's like, well, look at this. I have a little piece of the sky that I found at that very church. And he shows her that there is a little piece of turquoise, like raw, kind of like beat up turquoise.
I love turquoise.
Oh, it's such a good stone. And he's like, look, I'll have a little piece of the New Mexico sky with me when I go home.
Yeah,
Which I
he's
was
a
like,
he's a real
"Aw."
white boy.
I was like, yeah, big time. And he's like, also, Josefina, I have this for you. And he gives her sheet music with like American lyric. This is like a weird part of the book that I didn't totally understand his motivation in giving it to her, because they haven't on page talked about a shared love of music yet. The shared love of music conversation happens in this chapter.
Yeah. I guess she liked his I guess he knew she was playing the flute.
That's true, her little whistle. Yeah, and then so anyway, so he gives her music and she's like, "Great, thanks so much." And then he takes out his violin and Josefina's like, oh my gosh, I love your violin. I wish we had one because Papa used to play violin all the time." And he's like, "What?" And
We
she's like,
love it.
"Yeah, but he stopped after Mama died and he gave his away. He was too sad to play music ever again, and now music will never be around again because
Music's over for us.
The music is not in Papa." But he's about to find that "You are the music in me" with Tía Dolores, maybe. And so she's like, "Yep, he gave it away. And by the way, though, when we go back to the house, you should hear about the story of how Tía Dolores got her piano, because Abuelita would love to tell you the story."
I was so worried we'd have to hear this story again.
I was like, "Oh, okay, great. So the next 2 pages are gonna be the fucking story." Mercifully not. It just sort of cheekily is like, "Oh boy, was Abuelito excited to tell the piano
thank
heist
God.
story."
I was like, knowing Valerie, we're gonna listen to this whole story again.
I was like, here we go, rev up into it. So he tells the story again, and they go on into the night, exchanging different stories back and forth. Patrick tells his tales from the Santa Fe Trail, and they keep talking, and he's like, "Oh, what great adventures we've all had." And then finally he's like, "Wee! Here's violin time," and everybody's singing and clapping and having a good time.
He's playing some American ditties for them.
Yeah, he's got some good old little, probably Irish,
some little fiddle music,
little fiddle songs to play.
We love a fiddle. I'm a sucker for a fiddle.
Love a fiddle. And then he's like, "Now it's your turn."
And he like pushes it at Papa, and everyone's like,
and Josefina's like, "Fuck this! I'm freaked."
She's like, "That's Capu." She's like, from a different country and culture.
She's like, "Whoa, I see I've made a mistake of some kind.
You have made a fatal error."
Yeah, the action had consequences, and then immediately the butterfly died and disintegrated into ash in front of her. She saw it, and then it happened. She's like, "Whoops." But you know what? Papa takes it in stride. He seems like equal parts hesitant and excited.
This was a little adult sad.
Yes.
I feel like, where I was like, I didn't cry. Thank God.
This one, yeah. This one was it's like bittersweet.
But yeah, I was like, the moment of him, like, it describes him like looking at the violin, and like looking like he wants to, but also like deeply sad.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, oh, it's pain.
It's tough.
His pain is tough.
His pain is tough. But he takes it, he picks it up, and he's like, everybody's still kind of in shock, and he's like, "Well, what should I play?" And like nobody says anything.
No, I'm like, you guys, come on.
You're making it worse.
Yeah, you guys are making
it 1 million times worse. Please. Josefina's like, "Wait, what about this?" And offers him the sheet music. Wow. Plot device. Immediately. And he begins to play it like hesitantly at first, but then he grows in confidence, and then he's playing it, and Patrick is singing the lyrics in English, and then Papa starts like improvising his own little riff. He's blending.
I want to hear this.
I know, right?
It's like Spanish mixed with like bluegrass, Irish. I was like,
this sounds,
I bet this fucks
incredible.
I get chills thinking about what it might sound like.
And then Papa's like, and he wraps it up, and Tía Dolores is like, "Oh, oh my God, that was I'm blown away." She's like breathless, and she's like her chest is heaving in the warm candlelight.
She lady swoons.
Oh, big time. And she's like, "Wow, my goodness. I would love to talk to you privately about how how moved I was by this." And Josefina is like, "Okay, well, I know what I want. Patrick's violin to give to Papa."
I know, it was funny because I did get like, aw, because I thought that was cute. But then I was like, why Patrick's? Why not just like a different one that might be there somewhere?
I was like, that's nice.
Someone's got to be trading instruments with all the wares they have.
I was like, okay.
She's like, I'm going to take that man's violin.
This seems like a little impractical, babe. But like, I do like the vision.
But it was cute.
It's very cute. So, the chapter doesn't end. We get another little break. So she has gone off to convince her sisters, specifically Clara and Francisca. And off page, she's already convinced Francisca. So she's got 2 blankets, but she knows that she needs at least 3 to make this a fair deal. And like I said, Anna's blanket, not on the table. Anna's blanket is shoe for babies. And they're like, well, Clara, we need your blanket. And she's like, no way. No, 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 no. Boo. I hate you guys.
Yeah, Clara's a real
Stinky.
stick in the
You
mud.
suck. I hate you. I want knitting needles. You guys are losers. You want.
She's like, it's impractical. I'm like, shut up.
And she's like, you guys want frivolous things, a stupid mirror and a stupid playset, and I hate you. But then basically Josefina's like,
well, yeah, I did think it was funny that Francisca's like, you can use my knitting needles. They're like, no.
they're new. And she's like,
you don't
that's
use
because
them.
you
Like,
don't use them.
she's like, yeah, exactly.
I was like, wait, but so that trade works.
free needles.
It's actually not an issue.
Yeah.
But then like low key again, this is why if the shit doesn't pay off, that's stupid. Because she's like, well, what if I told you that really the reason I want it is because did you see how happy Papa playing the violin made Tía Dolores? And then Clara's like, oh, okay, you can have the blanket.
Yeah. She's like, what if we double happied? Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? She's like, well, what if I told you a secret and it wasn't just for Papa's happiness?
Being twisting. So they convince her.
So they convince her. And then the girls go and they meet up with Patrick and they're like, hello, King, we've got a trade deal for you. 3 blanket for 1 violin. And he's like, what? What goodness?
I know he goes for it real quick.
Yeah, he's like,
which
great.
I would be like, you must not really like your violin.
Yeah. Or maybe he's wealthy. So maybe he's like, ain't no thing.
I get he does say in this, like, I'll sleep better on like 3 blankets than I will. And I guess if
On
like on
one
the
violin.
trailer, like, I probably should have brought more blankets.
Yeah, he's probably like, damn.
I can get a violin back in Missouri.
Me a blanketless fool.
Yeah. On these cold mountain trails.
Yeah. He's like, well, I don't have the violin with me right now. But if you guys come back here to where they're all at in the market tomorrow with your blankets and I'll bring my violin.
No, they give him the blankets.
Oh, you're right. They do give him the blankets because of what's about to happen. So he's like, thank you for these blankets. I will come back here tomorrow and I will bring you the violin. And they're like, great. Thank you so much. What ho. They go home. It's the next day and it's raining as they wait at their set meeting spot and hours pass. At least 3 hours pass.
It's a long time to
That's
wait.
a very long time, especially with it being so drizzly and dreary out.
Yeah, it's bad weather.
And Patrick never shows his face. And they start to get something of a panic. So they start kind of asking around. And Josefina encounters this man. And she's like, excuse me, do you know Patrick O'Toole? And he's like, O'Toole? Can't say that like I do. And she's like, he's a scout for the American caravan. And he's like, oh, well, if he's a scout, then he's long gone.
They left last night.
And she's like, what do you mean? He was like, yep, they were all sent off like on their next basically scouting mission. Like late in the night, they all departed. So he'd be long gone.
Betrayal.
And she's like, uh-oh. So everybody is 0 to 100 immediately devastated. Fair enough. That they have been betrayed, that their goods have been stolen and they've been left high and dry. So they're like, well, shit, like we have to go home and like break the news because Papa is about to trade all of these mules away. They've actually already been also taken. Yeah. So like, uh-oh, problem. And so they are headed home. And as they're leaving the market, Josefina, they pass the stall where that cute little farm toy set was. And the toy set is gone. And she feels conflicted because she wanted to trust him, that he could be a good man. Maybe the music was a lie.
Music never lies.
No. Chapter 4. Shining like hope.
Shine bright like a diamond.
A lot of shit happens in this chapter too.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you guys, Papa and Abuelito had gone to trade blanket and other wares that they like were getting rid of. And so they don't return until like well after dinner when Clara basically bursts out immediately.
Yeah, Clara's like not having any of this
Bro,
ish, this book.
This is Clara has a no good, very bad day part 2, kind of. She's like, they like have betrayed us. They've stolen from us. They being Patrick, thief. He's a liar. And I can only imagine if he swindled us, he's definitely going to swindle you. Like even worse. Because we're just dumb women, but you guys are men. And he's going to break his promise. Mm-hmm. And everybody, but especially Abuelita, is like, you have to go You need to go hunt them down and accuse them of being thieves and, like, take the mules
Yeah, we
back.
see where Clara gets her attitude from.
Big time. They're basically like,
You've been had, my guy.
yeah, you've been had. So what you need to do though is go and basically pretty publicly declare that like these people are like troublemakers and thieves. But I believe it's Abuelito is like, actually, we should be a little careful. And Tía Dolores, like together. So it's like a house divided. It's like, well, we should be careful though, because if we are wrong and it is a misunderstanding, then the Americans will never trade with you again.
Yeah.
And that could be like potentially devastating.
Yeah, because more Americans are coming to trade.
Yeah.
So it's looking like it's going to be the thing.
If we get blacklisted from that trading,
We're out.
we're out. Like, we're already having a problem with sheep. If we have a problem with trade,
It's over.
it's so over. So Josefina's thinking to herself, and she's like, Papa is a level-headed man. And he's like, I will wait like a day and I will address it like in the morning, basically. So Josefina goes off to bed. And she's still worried that she's misplaced her trust and she's feeling conflicted because she's 10 and a child. So she feels like she was fooled by this man that she thought was nice. And she can't fall asleep, so she wanders outside and she notices like a shadow moving out of the corner of her eye. And she's like, Patrick? And it's just a turtle,
It's a turtle.
which is very funny.
That's crazy of her.
But the turtle does make her catch her eye on a piece of paper that's on the ground.
Another boy leaving another girl a bad note.
Honestly, yeah, this one even worse, I would argue, than Ben's note. At least Ben's note was like clear that
Felicity, help.
please, and it had a shitty map. So she unfolds the piece of paper, which has the small blue piece of the sky, the small turquoise stone on it. And she unfolds the paper, and on it is like a crude drawing of a church. And she's like, whoa, what the hell? One? There's 5 in Santa Fe. But then she does the craziest mental, like, mind math jump, in my opinion, for a 10-year-old.
She does like the
like a red string, like conspiracy board. She's like, hang on, it's a church drawing. And from that drawing of the church, he left the blue stone on top. So I would remember that he had found this piece of rock on the roof,
which
of
means
the San Miguel Chapel.
It's like Pepe Silva.
Big time. So she's like, I've cracked it, actually.
She's like, I know exactly where this is.
Exactly where this is. But she can't go alone. So she goes back to her sisters and she's like, I've cracked it, you guys. Clearly he left me this piece of paper with this rock on top of it to tell me that he left all of the goods inside the church because he can't write in Spanish. And he had to leave so suddenly and urgently in the night.
And they're like, this is quite a conspiracy theory.
They're like, okay.
Seems like you're grasping at straws.
But she's like, but if I'm right, like, then we could prove tonight that he's not a crook and he's not a thief, and we could save Papa from making a mistake.
That's
or
true.
we could learn tonight for sure that, like,
he is a crook
and a liar and a thief. And then Papa can go about his intended business. And so they're like, well, you can't go by yourself. And Francisca's like, I'll go with you.
Like, immediately. She's like, why not? I'm bored.
She's brave now.
She's
also,
so cool.
low-key feel like she's like, where that hot white guy at?
Yeah. She's like, he wouldn't have betrayed. She needs like more personal proof that he's not a crook.
100%.
Because they've been rizzing it up, I think, in their side plot that we're not getting.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not convinced yet. So off they go to the
Clara
church.
decides to stay home because she's a loser.
Yeah, Clara's like, no thanks.
I do want to say,
yeah,
there's some crazy undertones here that like imply that they're gonna get raped by going out. Because they're not, like, when there are the traders in town, no women are allowed to walk around without a male servant.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Americans are drunk and rowdy.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, because they're going to be raped.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't even really touch on it in the peek into the past. It's still just sort of like, it'd be really, really bad.
Yeah.
If that woman was by herself unattended.
They have something similar in Kit, too, where it's like, if you know, where the
wink.
Kit's like in like a hobo camp, not to get ahead, but like the guy she's with is like, you have to look like a boy. We got to make them think you're a little boy. Like, and she's like a 9-year-old.
Yeah. And you're like, oh.
I was like, why? little boy, little girl, what's the difference? I'm like, I guess there is one.
I guess there is one in this specific instance. Yeah, so they do go into the town. They do briefly, they can hear the men. They're
Yeah.
partying. There's all these fandangos going on. There's cheering and singing and drunk, like,
Raucous.
fighting and muttering. And they do, like, wander down an alley where they briefly, like, encounter a drunk man who's like, two senoritas.
And then they trip him and run.
Yeah, Josefina trips him, and then they just, like, dart off into the night. And I'm like, hello?
She's like immediately like, no, which is good.
No,
But it's like literally no questions asked. She like trips
she's
him.
like, no, this is a bad man. Goodbye. So they run off. They get to the church. They lift open the heavy doors to the church, and they get in. And there it is, the violin with a little ribbon tied around it.
And
a bunch of other little tchotchkes, a mirror, the toy set. And I think the knitting needles are also there.
he was like, fine, I'll get Clara something
I guess
too.
the complainer gets something too. So they're like, oh my gosh, what joy. And they rush back to the house. By the way, they have to go like 5 miles again. Or it's like several miles.
And that's only a mile from town.
Is it a mile from town? I mixed it up.
It's still a while.
But they're like, they're exhausted. These girls have been running around and it's dark and they have to get back before dawn, before Papa leaves. And as they're coming up, Papa is like about to get on his saddled up horse. He's about to ride into town. And they're like, stop.
We did it.
Look at this. And he's like, wow.
Proves it.
Hello? And they're like, this proves that he wasn't a liar or a fraud. He's okay. And Papa's like, wow, I guess you guys go inside and have breakfast.
No, he's like, guess you guys go inside and let Abuelita punish you.
Yeah, freak out and be mad because you were out and about.
Yeah, he's like, you know what's going to happen. You're in trouble.
And then he's like, and I guess I'll send my horse back because I am not going into town. And he's like, wait, before you guys go, take your violin. And Josefina's like, no, Papa, the violin's for you.
It's para ti, Papa.
It's a gift. Take it.
He like doesn't really react like I would hope he would have.
No, and we like don't linger on it. And then it's just like, oh yeah. And then like a day later, guys, like Patrick's friend comes and gives them the silver coin that they were owed.
But they don't get to see him because they're punished. So
Yeah.
they have to sit inside all day.
They'd be like locked away in their rooms.
But Josefina's like, I can play with my animals. And
Josefina's like, who cares? I have a play set.
And Francisca's like making like mirror light.
Yeah, kind of worked out for us.
And Clara's just like knitting.
And then
Clara does hang out with them.
Yeah, she's like,
because she's like, I have no friends. I
nothing
can't
else to
alienate
do
these
here.
two.
And at the end, Josefina has like her windows open, looking out into the courtyard at night, and she can hear that Papa is playing the violin
in the moonlight.
And she's like,
so softly.
La, 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 la. I love music, and I love that Papa is playing again. And oh my God, like caught in the glow of the moonlight in the doorway is Tía Dolores, yearningly looking out. And she's close enough that Josefina can hear that she is humming like the complimentary lyrics along to the song that Papa is playing on the violin. And that's the fucking end of the book.
End, so you can't tell me that something's not going on. This is crazy.
And I was like, okay. I know, like, we're getting it, like I said, from Josefina's perspective. So I guess it makes a little sense that she's not like, wow, they're in love.
It's fucked up.
But I'm like, you're not little girl questioning why Tía Dolores
is like yearning at your Papa in the moonlight
so overtly.
Yeah,
that's gauche.
What
Baby,
door is she in? Is she in her door?
Oh,
his.
What in the moonlight? Oh, she's in her door.
Okay.
It says it's in her bedroom door. For now, we're gnawing at the walls of our enclosure about
we're
it.
chomping at the bit.
I literally have been like, I locked in more to like the first 8 books. I was like, okay, fun, and then the romantic undertone started, and I was like, no, I'm laser focused in on the.
It's been building. Like I felt like when I said it when we were reading book 1, part of me was like, oh, that was stupid to say, you idiot. And then every book, I've been more reassured that I was correct. And this one, I was like, if they're not fucking, then I'm not fucking.
Because I think at the beginning, it feels more like, oh yes, it would be improper a thing for them to like do, like that, you know, she's a stranger, she's just coming to the home, the girls need like a mother figure, and he's like happy to kind of let her fill that.
Yeah.
And then over time it's been like,
but it's very Sound of Music or the Nanny-esque.
Oh, love the Sound of Music. Yeah. Oh my God,
it is
delicious.
This is the Sound of Music in 1820s and New Mexico territory. Without the Nazis.
Kind of true with the music.
Yeah.
It's so delicious. So anyway, guys, who knows? Not us yet.
Not us yet.
Us next week.
I can't wait.
But for right this moment, who the hell knows? Delicious.
Only Dios. God.
So looking back, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was the least interested in a looking back I've been, so I kept it short.
I don't remember
This
even
one's
reading
it's just
it.
like it's like outdoors in the 1824, and it's basically like remember that people were poor back then, so they didn't go on vacation for fun.
It did just talk about Santa Fe, which I thought was cool.
It talked a lot about Santa Fe. Basically, Santa Fe would have been like one of the biggest cities at the time that somebody like Josefina could have gone to and encountered, and that like much like in the book, it was a real like cultural hub. So all of the like indigenous people of the area would go and trade. The Americans would come and trade. The New Mexicans would come and trade. The Mexicans would come and trade. The Spanish settlers would come and trade. Everybody was
Well,
there.
just I think like the one interesting thing about this peek into the past, that like will differentiate it, and the one thing that I think like is worth mentioning is, the emphasis on trade routes, and I kind of talked about it in the previous episode about kind of her getting toys, because I was thinking of this book, but it kind of talks about how Mexico City had a lot more trade, so it was really interesting for the Americans to go and get better goods, higher quality goods. But alternatively, it was really cool for the Mexicans to be able to trade with the Americans because they had cheaper goods and they had different things like calico and stuff. So it kind of is it's interesting the same way that kind of like the Silk Road type stuff is interesting, where it's merging of cultures and merging of, like you even said, like, Abuelito had a pair of cowboy boots because he traded them, but they weren't, most people were wearing the moccasins at the time and kind of learning that. So I thought that was the one thing that I did kind of enjoy about this peek into the past.
No, I think it's cool. I was gonna say the only other thing that really stuck out to me was kind of similar to that, which was talking about like how many like festivals and stuff that they would put on when like the trader out like wagons would all come in, because it would be a time to be like, oh, here's a play, here's like a music kind of festival-esque thing, that there would be like dancing and puppet shows for children and things like that put on by different cultural groups. Very cool.
Yeah, and it talks in this about how pueblos would come to and trade. So I like that aspect of it, but otherwise, another outdoor peek into the past is
Well, also it says kind of the last thing I'll say is it said like somebody like Josefina could have heard up to like 4 or 5 different languages being spoken at like one time, and I was just thinking like in America right now, how many places could you really go right now where you could hear that many different languages being spoken at once versus like when you go abroad, especially to like foreign countries with like much different like language structures. And you do hear more like, oh, there's like a French person speaking, and there's like a Japanese person
yeah.
speaking, and there's an English person speaking, and there's XYZ like other languages being spoken at once. And you're like, oh my God, like,
Well, you still get that in like New York or something.
yeah, I think I'm more thinking like here, like I feel like you mostly just hear like English and Spanish.
Yeah.
But to think like, especially since there were so many different like native tribes still kind of in operation speaking
Yeah, I
their
think that was the
native
cool part.
languages.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Comanche and stuff.
that they're
Yeah.
like, oh, Josefina could have heard like, yeah, so many
I did
different
hear
things.
someone like speaking Russian in Austin the other day, and I was so like
It's
taken aback. I was
it's
like, "What
so
are you doing here?"
I think it is. I mean, it sounds uh silly, but it is always kind of cool when you'll catch like because when you're passively eavesdropping on somebody who's speaking English, you can like check in and out of it because
Yeah.
you know what they're saying.
Well, and even Spanish here is just so normal to hear.
Yeah,
You know that
so
I
you're
just
kind of it doesn't phase you.
I remember my friend visited from the UK, and he was shocked by how much Spanish there was. Dog
Hello,
and girlfriend. She's like, "Oh no, too lit in there."
girlfriend alert.
Yeah.
She's like, wow, there's 2 women sitting with 4 LED light panels facing
She
them.
just moved here.
She's like, hello. She's like, I guess there's freaks living here.
Guess there's an influencer living in
You should
them.
be like, my bad, I run an OnlyFans. And then not elaborate.
The OnlyFans is just me talking on a couch.
The OnlyFans is me just yapping. People love to pay.
But no, my friend, back to the non-distraction, was my friend was commenting that it was so interesting just how common it was. We were in San Antonio, and it was just both languages were so common.
Yeah.
But it is only those 2 languages that you can expect to hear.
Sure.
You know?
So anyway,
Yeah.
just thought it was cool. Also, like you said, this peek into the past ends by being like, by the way, women couldn't go out unchaperoned. San Francisco and Josefina were being very brave, but very naughty.
Naughty.
And I was like, okay.
Naughty girls.
So that's the end. My closing thoughts. I said this is a fun, lively book. I definitely feel like it's ramping up to a few kind of final ideas for the end, i.e., Papa X Dolores. Because I'm kind of like, I don't really know. Like, I don't have any other foreshadowing feelings about it. I kind of feel like, okay, we're getting the sheep back, we're getting the gang back together, we're going back home. Changes, like getting a mom
Back.
part 2.
I do think, like, just kind of in general, with Mama's absence and Tia Dolores' presence being such a big part of this, I do kind of believe it's going to happen. I have to believe
In
it's going to
some
happen.
way, or at least like we're thinking about when you're older getting married or something like that, right? Like,
I think she's gonna end up sticking around.
yes, if she doesn't make the decision, and I kind of feel like she's gonna leave, and they're gonna be like, "You have to go after her, Papa." That would be my dream outcome. If I was being so sick and twisted, I'd want her to fully leave, and I'd want everybody to be devastated, and Papa to be like, "I'm going to bring her back." I feel like he would leave silently because he's a strong silent type, but then he'd come back with her, and then be like,
She's pregnant.
"Okay." But no, I will say, our jokes about them getting together aside, they're not jokes. But I did like all the little extra observations I feel like we've gotten from Josefina.
No, they make it fun. Like, I feel like we've had a lot of fun with the last 2 books because there's just been so much for us to like hyperfixate and expand on.
Yeah, there's so much. I think we introspective girls love an introspective girl, and she has a lot of thoughts, and she's like a true wallflower. Like,
Yeah.
she blooms when she needs to.
Yes.
But she also is collecting all that good info.
Yeah, I do like, and we can talk about it more when like yapping and stuff. But so far we've had like 3 shy girls and 3 outgoing girls. And I do like that. I think her shyness, I think, works the best almost in terms of still developing. And I think all of them did end up having characters. But I think the fact that she is so introspective and always thinking about things kind of lets you know. I just feel like I understand why she's shy. And it like works better than it has sometimes in the past. Like, I feel like in the past we've had to be told, "Oh, she's shy," or "She's quiet." And they do say that for Josefina, but I feel like you get it in how she, like, will think about, "Oh, I don't wanna say this, I don't wanna do that, but I want to observe," and she wants to be a part of things, and I think Valerie does a good job of doing the, like, I'm not as shy around my family, but around other people, and, like,
I'm kinda
sometimes when I have
hesitant.
to be, like, out there, I do feel a little uncomfortable,
Yeah.
so and I think I've had a lot of fun with the past 2 books. They've been kinda silly goofy in a weird way that after the first 3 I wasn't expecting, while still being, like, on plot,
I was gonna say, I feel very delighted.
Yeah.
I feel delighted that we kinda got a switch up.
Well, it's just,
Because
like, after all the mama stuff and after Addie, it's, like, a little bit of a breath of fresh air to be like, "This is crazy, like, silly, goofy stuff."
yes, well, because she is a little girl.
Yeah.
Like, of course there's grief, but I think I was like, "Oh, no."
Is mama everywhere?
I was kind of like, I don't know if I can read 3 more books of, like, mama deep grief.
Yeah. So,
right
no, these
now.
were nice little palate cleansers a little bit.
Delicious, and we're hoping you guys already know. You already know what we're hoping for.
We are.
Yearning.
And if you're hoping for the same thing, then share this with someone who's watched your dad play a violin in the moonlight.
Share this with somebody you thought was a dirty, dirty liar, but turned out wasn't.
Share this with
Did you like that?
it ended as abruptly as Valerie's
Yeah,
book.
that's right.
Share this with somebody who told me that
Okay.
share this with somebody who told you that buying an animal farm was a dumb idea.
So this is somebody who would buy a mirror because they're so vain.
Share this with someone who gave you a piece of the sky.
And show this is somebody who you can't communicate with other than by drawing complicated pictures and leaving them riddles.
And guys, as always, like, subscribe. Tell us your theories about Tia Dolores and Papa, but don't spoil any.
Don't spoil anything for your fellow listeners. The next episode is the one we can talk about it on.
But if you saw hints that we missed, write them in the comments.
Yeah, be like, you guys missed this really unclockable moment. That's like this one line at this earlier book.
Yeah, if you guys want to expand on our lore, we would love that.
Yeah, tell us, like, how do you think that, like, they first broke contact
Yeah.
inappropriately?
Yeah. Make up your own fan fiction.
Tell us.
And we'll catch you guys in the next episode when we finally find out the mystery. Changes for Josefina.
If you guys know we're gonna be crushed,
Don't tell us.
keep your mouth so shut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cierra la boca y adios.
Bye.
Bye.